Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Mary D Talk Show. For those of you that are new, say you've never been here before, and this is your first time here, welcome to the show. My name is Mary D Welch, and I'm your host for today's show for the shows. And I want to first thank you, our live viewers, and thank you, our replay viewers, because the show wouldn't be if it wasn't for you guys. That's the bottom line. You are the reason why this show's been on for 3 years. Can you believe that? 3 years. When that go live button was pushed 3 years ago, I remember as I remember sharing with you guys, shaking like a leaf. I was so scared. And at the same time, I go on now and I'm just like, oh, it's no big deal. But it took 3 years to get here. To get past is no big deal. But I do want to tell you, thank you again for coming on this wonderful Monday. As many of you know, it is a wonderful Monday. It's beautiful outside. It's just gorgeous. So, but just wanted to tell you that. I like to thank the number one fan of the Mary D Talk Show, and that's my husband Oliver. He is also the executive producer of the show. As many of you know, you've never seen Oliver, but he's there. He is behind the scenes. I promise you, he is. So I want to tell him, thank you, babe. He's always there supporting. So just so you know, I do appreciate it. And I also want to thank our sponsors for today's show. The number one sponsor, I say number one sponsor, one who's been here since the very first show has been the Idea Club, and the president is Dumas Martin Jr. Thank you, Dumas. It is so appreciated. He is right there. I mean, when I tell you supporting, I don't even know how the words, but definitely thank you, thank you, thank you. We also have First Book Academy for those of you that are interested in writing a book. There's Front Page Publishing for those of you that are interested in publishing a book. And as far as being sponsors, and we also have a new sponsor called Doulas Rock. If you know someone who's a doula or someone who is interested in becoming a doula, you can go to doulasrock.com and there's information on that page. That's another sponsor for the show. Wow. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't have to say it. I'm going to say it for you. So, and now I want to thank because just coming in and we have Victoria. Hi, Victoria. How are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And here's our chaplain. I'll tell you, when I tell you Chaplain Jones, hi, Chaplain. She has been here probably since the beginning, I think, Chaplain. I think you've been here since the show first started. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And I noticed you can type on, whether you're on YouTube, you can type in there and leave a message. Because this is a definite show, ladies and gentlemen, where your feedback is needed and necessary. Let me tell you that now. I need your, this is not about me. This is about all of us, because those of you who saw the title of today's show is How Do You Know Prayer Works? Because let's just be honest. Well, first, before I go, I'm gonna get into the show. Don't worry, we got to talk about this because these are some of the things I have found, but we're going to talk about. I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I mute it. There we go. Okay. But that's coming. I do want to, as I try to do as much as possible, acknowledge, as many of you know, our oldest author. And I tell you that because she is so close to my heart. And I say oldest author, but she is one of the youngest in spirits you ever want to meet. She's a young 90, and her book, many of you know, has been published already. And did I bring it right here? Usually it's right near me where I can just reach for it. I think I took it in the other room. I was reading it again. Think about that. And that's what I did. I took it. And I'm sorry about that. I was going to show you guys the cover, but no, I think I did. Yeah, I did. I took it in the den. But anyway. Oh, did I? Oh, just a minute now. I think I may have. Ta-da! I did. I brought it back. And I really want you guys to really, this is history. Let me say that to you all. This is history. That's what this is. So it's really important to me that all of us read this book. This is living history. Think about this. This is a young 90, a young woman that's 90. She has lived things that we will never see. And for her to put it in the book so we can all see it, priceless. Ta-da! So you want to do that? We have a lot going on. On top of that, for those of you, many of you know about this book, Saying No Nicely. I always try to show that to you. Out of all the books I've written, out of all the books, this is still the number one book of all the books. Think about this, of all the books I've written, Saying No Nicely. If you go to Amazon right now, you'll see all the responses and reviews and everything. People love this book because it's a short read. You can read the book, and I'm not kidding, probably 20 minutes, 38 pages. 38 pages, not long. If those of you that know how to say no, I'm glad. I suffered from that disease, the disease to please. That's what they call it. I'm one of those people. This is the anthology. Many of you are familiar with that. I'm showing all these to you because someone actually told me this. This is why I'm doing this. They said, you should be showing the books on every show, and you don't. And I said, you're right, I don't. They're like, no, show them so people can know. Because remember, there's different people logging in all the time. I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. So that's what I'm trying to make up for that. So now this is an excellent book. Excellent. And then now I have some children's books. I know I don't have them all near me. I see this is Stuck in the Elevator. This is one. Ta-da, ta-da. And I had I'm sorry. Justin Lost a Tooth. Here it's right behind me. It's Justin Lost a Tooth. And then I have so many more. I'm trying to think of, do I have them? Oh, I have Red Elephant right here. But anyway, so this is Justin Lost a Tooth. This is the newest published book that I put out. Is this one? Now, and I'm going to talk, you guys get to hear about what's going to happen with all the books. Let's see, do I have any other one near me? Oh, I have Red Elephant. Sorry about that. Here it is. Have you seen the Red Elephant? It's another one. So that's not all of them, but that's only one I think I didn't show you is There's a Rocket in My Pocket and Peyton, the pink whale with the yellow tail. I think that's it. That's out now. Oh, I know what else. Someone had mentioned too. I need to show you. And I haven't done that as much. Okay. But don't worry. We're going to get into this prayer because I see people coming in. So I could tell this is a hot topic. Okay. This is the Big Black Journal. And why this was important to me was this was during what was going on with George Floyd. And you open it up, you can write what one family did. It's all this is line paper. But they put the family recipes in here and they're passing it to, like, let's say you have a family recipe. This has become their book. It has their family recipes in it. And that's one, I know one family did that. Another family, another person, this is where they're a writer and they're writing things in here. That's something else they're doing. So whatever it is, I'm just telling you, people have told me they're doing it. And that's one reason I want to share it with you because it doesn't always have to be one thing. Let me tell you that now. It could be multiple things. And this one is the last one I'm going to share with you. Save Your Home from Probate. This was the one people told me, why are you not showing this book? Why this book is important. And I'll give you the commercial on that. Number one, I experienced probate. I had never experienced probate in my life. Think about that. And then once I did, I call it the devil. I call probate the devil. I said, anybody that has to go through this, I pray you don't have to go through what I went through. But long story short, let me say this. If you can, if you can avoid it, if you own property, this book has 33 states and the District of Columbia, because the District of Columbia is not a state. So we know that's okay. So why is this important? Because if you own a home and the home is not in a trust, or it's another way it can be, if it's community property, so you own it with someone else and they're on title, community property would be a husband or wife, or if someone else is on title to it. Now this is where it can make a difference. Let me just say this. The best way to handle this, I almost forgot. What they told us, always say this: I'm not an attorney. I'm going to say this again. I am not an attorney. And that's just so everybody knows, you're not getting this from a lawyer. You're getting this from someone who has experienced it. This is all my opinion. Okay, now I can talk. Okay, why is this important? Save your home from probate. Why, if you're the only one on title, there is a form you can fill out. And I'm not kidding. I think it took 5 minutes, if it took that long. You fill it out, you file it with your deed. The total cost for everything is about $100. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. $100. Let me tell you how powerful this form is. This is what I really have to stress to everybody. It is more powerful than a will. So what does that tell you? It is more powerful than a will. So even if those of you that say, oh, I have a will, and people always tell me that, oh, I have a will, I'm just like, I already know not to worry about that, because they can say that. That doesn't have to mean anything. Having a will does not supersede this paper. This paper supersedes a will. It supersedes a will. So the one I'm talking to you about in this book, you can go right online, order it from Amazon, and be at your house tomorrow. This book, Save Your Home from Probate. If you look online, the last time I looked, it was everybody that had it gave it a review, and they gave it 5 stars. It took me 3 years. It was almost 4 years, 3.5 years to put together this book, because it meant going from state to state and making sure all the states, that it took a while. And then I will tell you. So in my opinion, if you own property and you're the only one on title, this is really, really important. Do something. Do not leave it. And don't say, oh, I have a will. A will has to be probated. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't used to know all this. I didn't. But I learned it when I had to figure it out inside of, being an executor and all those things you don't want to do. But the point is, this is so important, because you have, I'm not saying you have to have this, but you may know someone that has someone in a nursing home and they have property, and they'll tell you, I have a will. This is the number one thing people say, I have a will. I've had people tell me I have a will. And then when they say it, I'm thinking, oh, they think that's all they need. They think that. The way they said it makes me know they think that. It is not all you need. It is not. So I would encourage you, and even though I'm the author, I hate to say it, I'm maybe self-serving, I don't know. But the point is, you need the book. That I can tell you do need. You need the book. So anyway, I just want to bring that to you. Okay. That's number 1. Now, and I want to show you a couple more books before I move on to the topic at hand. This book, My Cat is a Spy, is from our youngest son, Justin. This is his book. Excellent, excellent book, My Cat is a Spy. So I try to always talk about, even though they're grown, they're still your children. They're still your babies. That's how I look at that. And this is from one of our authors who I'm so proud of, and that's Fayette. And she's writing number 2. This is the first one, and she's writing number 2. Okay. Now, we can break it down. We can get down to the subject at hand. I'm really curious about this, because every time I say this to people and they go, oh, I know prayer works. And I say, well, then how do you know? It's interesting. That changes everything when I say, how do you know prayer works? Okay. So we're going to go back to the top. I'm going to say hi to everyone first, and I'm going to go ahead and put your comments in, and we're going to get started, because I really want your feedback. This is truly an audience interaction show today. It's not about me. It's not about what I've been through. And God knows I have stories. I'm not going to lie. Some of them, and all of them aren't good. So I'm going to tell you, they're not. That's the truth of the matter. But I will tell you this before we even start. I'm going and I'm going to get the names up before I start. Let me say this to all of you. Oh, before I get started too, please go to YouTube and subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Like and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, please go back and like it. Also on Instagram, if you would follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Mary_D_Welch. Mary_D_Welch. And that's on Instagram. And make sure I do that, because I get caught up and I forget to do all those things. I do. Now, Also add, if you are not on the email list or the texting list or one of the lists, I have an email that goes out. Those of you on the email list, I send out emails at least 3 times a week, at least. I don't do them every day. I do it about 3 times a week. You can send an email to me. Let me put my email in here. I'll just give it to you. Mary, I'll put it for but it's Mary at marydwelch.com. You send me an email and let me tell you, you can send 2 things. If you send me your email, you come on the email list. You send me your cell, you get on the email and the texting list. I was running late today. I didn't get a chance to, Facebook said it can't put it up. Okay, got it. But I think it went on YouTube, but Facebook doesn't. I don't know why Facebook doesn't like it when I do that, when I put the .com. I can't tell you. I'm not in charge of these systems, but Facebook is saying it won't put the marydwelch.com up for some reason. I don't know. Okay. Oh, thank you. I didn't even get a chance to read the comments yet. You guys, okay. Let me tell you who does my hair. I'm giving her as they call a shameless plug. Her name is Lanita. She's been doing my hair for 10 years, and she's in Moreno Valley. I just literally pulled in the driveway and ran in the house and jumped on the show. But because of your executive producer, he had everything set up for me. Oliver had everything ready for me. So, as I said, so that I just got my hair, as they said, just got my hair did. So thank you guys. I'm gonna tell her I know she's busy right now. She has another client, but I'll make sure I leave her a message and tell her that you guys really like it here. Okay. But now, I lost my train of thought. See, you guys, what was I talking about? It wasn't going on. Oh, I was telling you about if you want to get on the email list or get on the email list is just go to Mary at marydwelch.com, leave your name, your email. If you want to get on the texting list, you can leave your cell phone number. I like both of them. Those of you on the email list, you get more. There's no question. You get a lot more because you're getting, like, I just sent out the information about Charles Bibbs. They got that. They get more. Let me just say that. Texting, I only text once a week, and it's usually about the show. That's the truth of the matter. Or like the next thing that's coming out is the book, Bradley Can't Find His Pants. It's coming in English and Spanish. It'll be uploaded on Amazon. We're just waiting for like 2 tweaks on that book, and that book will be up. The texting people will get the text the minute that book goes live on Amazon. The email, probably not as fast. So I would suggest you be on both. Those of you on both, you're getting all of it at one time. So just so you know that. Okay. So let me go back to the comments. I wanted to make sure I say that. And thank you for those of you that have already subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. If you've been on YouTube or you've been on anything that I'm on and you subscribe, thank you. I really do appreciate you. So we're going to go. We have Victoria. Hi, Victoria. We have our chaplain. Hi, chaplain. Then we have Levon. Hi, Levon. Hold on. Let me go back and put them in there. There's Victoria. There's the chaplain. There's Levon. Now this is Elaine. Oh, hi. Elaine said hi. Elaine said hi. Mary and Oliver, blessings to you both and all of your listeners. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Elaine, we still have to get you on the show. I haven't forgot. I have not forgot. For those of you that don't know, if you want to send me an email, I will get you in contact with Elaine. This lady can get your child or grandchild money for college like you would not believe. That's the person. Just send me a message and put Elaine in the subject line. I'll make sure you get in touch with her. Hi, Sheila. Nice to see you. Hi, Gwen. Hi, cousin Gwen. Now, Gwen, I'm going to tell you, audience, Gwen has been here since the very first show. I love you, cousin. She has, and I mean, she's at work and she comes on the show. So thank you. Then we have Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Oh, you like to do? Thank you, Danielle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving all these plugs. Danielle is an excellent dancer. If you're in I won't say the IE, but if you need someone to dance before your program for your entertainment, a shameless plug, send me a message and put Danielle Hobbs in the subject line. I will connect you, Danielle, or you can go on Facebook. She's on there on Facebook. This lady, of choreographer for the Queen Bee. What do I need to say anymore? That's who Danielle Hobbs is. And Elaine says, oh, you did, Danielle Cinnamon. Oh, your hair is on point. And say, oh, thank you guys. I'm gonna tell her. I can hear her right now. She said when I was just there, she goes, we're gonna do something different. I said, okay, I'm all for that. Hi, Charles. Welcome to the show, Charles. Good to see you. And Linda. Hi, Linda. I have been writing and tracking prayers for over 20 years. Linda, we're going to talk about it, Linda. That's really big. That's really, really big. I have to say, I haven't been doing that. I wish I could say that. Oh, that was me saying that. You can send an email, mary@marydwelsh.com. You can always reach me there. Send me an email. That's fine. And then we have Victoria says, oh, you agree? You guys are funny. Okay. Thank you, Victoria. And good afternoon. And yes, I do want to know how prayer works. Okay. That's why we're here. We're going to get started. I want to make sure I say hi because I don't want to miss anyone. And sometimes, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the show is I'm off and 5 comments come in. And I can't do anything about that. So I'm trying to really, really make sure I include you in the show. And then we're going to get started. Danielle said, go on our last talk, last December 2021 with Amethyst Girl, Destiny. Okay, all right. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. And Danielle, he says, Amethyst Girl, Destiny. I prayed for it, and Auntie Mary helped me find the funds to produce it. I remember that. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, the title of today's show, how do you know prayer works? Think about what I'm saying, because some people would say, how do you know? What is your, and this, don't tell me, the one and only Cheryl Brown from Black Voice News. Hi, Cheryl. Hello. Tell Hardy I said hi too. Make sure you tell Hardy hi. All right. So I'm very, I have the one comment about prayer, or 2 comments. One was from Danielle, and the other one was Linda that says she's been tracking your prayers for 20 years. That's impressive. Linda, I need you to put a comment in or put something about, maybe it's a prayer that you can tell us how you prayed it and it came to pass. While I'm waiting for your comment, I'm going to speak on a couple of prayers that I have experienced. It's been so many until I don't even know if I can speak on a couple. Well, I'm going to speak on this one. This is one because Oliver doesn't know this. I mean, he may now. We've been married almost 20 years now. He probably does now. But before I met Oliver, I was a widow. For those of you that didn't know my background, I was widowed for almost 15 years, raising 3 sons. And I wanted to get married. And I did not know, how would I know who would be a good person for our family? That kind of thing. And my prayer was, I said, Lord, I would like a Black man that speaks Spanish. I sure did. I don't know that. I think it was my fleece moment. Is it going to be wet in the morning? Those of you that know, and I'm doing a bad job of telling you the story. But the point is, I need to know that they were heaven sent. I didn't want someone that would be the devil in disguise type thing. So I asked for this. Now, what's interesting about that prayer, I didn't know Oliver spoke Spanish. Think about this. My husband's fluent, by the way. Speaks, reads, and writes Spanish. I didn't know that when I met him. I didn't have a clue. So it was a long time before I remember the day he told me he spoke Spanish. I actually said, I said, say something. I was like, but think about it. When you're fluent in language, it really sounds crazy. But I said, because I knew then, I knew then he was my husband. But he didn't know that was the criteria that I have for God. That was my criteria. Was I wanted a man. I don't know why. It's like I just needed something to know that God was in it. Something. But it was a long time. Like I said, I didn't find that out for a while. So it wasn't like I met him and he was speaking Spanish. It wasn't like that. So I needed something as a standard. What will I know that this man is of God? And he's a godly man. That was what was important to me too. So So what are those of you that say, and some of you have said, prayer works. How do you know? How do you know? Like my example is, I'm married to him. Been married almost 20 years to the man that when like I said, I set that as a standard. I would know, because I would know this man speaks Spanish, and I'm thinking it's going to be like some kind of broken Spanish. His Spanish is excellent. It's not like, I mean, we go anywhere that's a Spanish speaking country, and I just turn to Oliver and let him communicate, because I wouldn't know. My español es poquito español. Mi esposo hablo mucho español. For those of you that don't know what I just said, my husband speaks a lot of Spanish. I don't speak. And I'm very quick to say that, and people understand that. So my comment: how do you know that Spanish works? Spanish works. I'm sorry, that prayer works. Okay, Cheryl says, praying for my niece to come home safely from Israel. She is scheduled to fly out tomorrow. Wow. Yes. We're gonna touch and agree on that, Cheryl. That's big. Wow. Yes, with all this going on there. I was watching the news last night. My prayers for her to come home safely also. Yes. For sure. Are there prayers that you have prayed? Anyone else? Anybody that you have prayed that was, because normally prayers between you and God. I'm gonna speak for me. No one else knew, by the way, that I was praying for a husband that spoke Spanish. I never said anything. I never told anybody anything. I never said, it wasn't like I told the whole family, I'm looking for the man that's Black and speaks Spanish. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. That prayer was between me and God. Never did anyone know. No, I never said anything. I never implied anything. So I knew that if this happened, if this were to be, and I never thought about this. I said, what if he didn't speak Spanish? I thought about that before, which is very interesting. I just never really, I just went with what I knew, with what I had already set out in my heart. Is this God? This is how I know that this is the man for me. So what has happened in your lives where you've prayed, and the only way it could have manifested was you knew in your heart this was God, that prayer was answered. Now, let me say this too. I think sometimes we act like God's a genie. That's what I think. I think sometimes it's that, like you rub a lamp type thing, and I'm going to just pray and he's going to give me my wish and that kind of thing. I wish I could say I haven't done it. I think I have done that before too, thinking, oh yeah, God's going to just do this, because I said it. No. This is what I think. I think God is looking at our hearts. That's what I think. I think it's what's inside of you that is very real, the untangibles, the things we don't see, the things we don't know, the things we can't touch, is what he's looking at. And that's where that comes from. That's what I think. Because that was, like I said before, that was a sincere prayer for me. It was definitely in my heart. I don't know why it was. Well, I think part of it, I've always wanted to learn Spanish. That's always been in me ever since I can remember. And so maybe that's what I thought. Maybe that's why that was a criteria. Maybe that's what it was. But what has happened in your life where you prayed and that prayer was answered, and it could only have was the only answer to that prayer. For some people, it could be, there's an eviction notice on your door and somebody comes and pays your rent, and you never know who it is. Nobody ever told you who it is. You may not even know who it is. I was at In-N-Out about a month ago, and when I got to the window, they said they've already paid for your order. Whoever the car was in front of me had paid for my order. I still don't know who that was. And I'll be honest, I love it when people do things like that, when you don't know who it is, but it manifests and they show up for some, you don't know. Years ago, this really happened too. It was someone I knew, and they didn't say anything to me. I just went to the grocery store. Think about this. I went to the grocery store, bought groceries for for this person and their family. And I brought it to the house because I brought it. I said, open your garage door and I'm going to back the car in. And she's like, why? Why are you backing the car into my garage? And I said, just let me do this. So I backed the car in and opened the trunk, and it was full of groceries. And she started crying. She started crying. And she said, I cannot even tell you what this means. I didn't have any money, but I didn't want to tell anybody I didn't have any money. And you brought all these groceries. And I said, that's because the Lord told me to bring these to you. I didn't even know. I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know she was praying about it. I didn't know she didn't have it. I didn't know anything. But that's just being obedient. But still, it was still a God moment. I'll call it that, because I didn't know. I just had a feeling, though she didn't say anything. I just had a feeling. Oh, Danielle says, love you. Thanks for this. Even praying for our leaders is very important. Got to go teach. Lunch is over. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Thank you for stopping by. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this young lady, if you have a program, it could be any. I mean, I've all kinds of things you could be doing. It could be a party. It can be a retirement party. It can be a luncheon, a brunch, a dinner. When I tell you to see her dance, it's something to see. It really, really is. And you can get in touch with her, and she would love to do performances. She enjoys that. She does an excellent job. So, but I was going back to the subject at hand. How do you know prayer works? How do you know? What is your evidence that prayer works? I say evidence. In some ways, we could say, to me, because we're alive. I know every day when my eyes open, I go, thank you, Lord. Thank you for another day. Now, even though some people may say, well, absent from the body is present with the Lord, I've said, Lord, keep me here as long as I possibly can stay. Now, I don't know how long that is. Nobody does. Nobody does. But however long it is, I'm willing to stay. So I put my petition in. That's what I've done. I put the petition in because I believe I don't have to believe. I've seen the words manifest in people's lives. I've seen it with my own two eyes. People say things, they may not even mean it. And it manifests. It comes to being. I've seen it. So I know that how powerful our words are. That'll be another show, but not this one. This one is, how do you know prayer works? And as I've said before, I'm married to the prayer that I put out in the universe. And that was, I said, I want, someone that's kind and someone that's going to not mistreat me or my kids. Because to me, just because you met that one category, I don't know if you're going to be that person in all those categories. So that was what was important to me. I didn't want to be sitting out here and then be regretting having married someone and just because they spoke Spanish. It was more to it than that. So I don't want to give the wrong impression. It was definitely more than that. But how do you know in your life, in your lifetime, what has been your experience that it works? Because somebody may say, well, people pray, but it doesn't work. Or I prayed. This is what I've heard people say. I prayed and God didn't answer that prayer. And you know what the truth is? God did answer that prayer. He did. It's either yes, it's either no, or it's not now. Those are the three. It's going to be one of those. I mean, but that's because how many times have you ever prayed and it didn't happen when you thought it should happen, but later it may have come to happen. It may have manifested later on. That it's just down the road or something, or you're thinking or something. That's what I noticed too. Many times it's something better. Have that happened to anybody here? It's better than what you thought it was going to be. That's happened to me. So it wasn't even about the something I was praying for. It was something better than that. So that has happened. So think about it. It could be something better than what you thought it was going to be. And that I'm going to use a friend of mine as an example. They were applying for a job and just couldn't get a job. Just like they always would come in number two. Always come number two. And finally, she's like, you know what? I guess I'm just not going to get a job. And I'm like, no, you are. It just hasn't happened yet. That kind of thing. When she did get the job, 5 minutes from where she lives, think about this. The other jobs weren't. They were like an hour away, that kind of thing. So look how God had just blocked those things. She was going to have to drive an hour each way to work, get in traffic, all those things. And those of you that don't live in California, let me tell you, our gas is $6 a gallon now. $6. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. This is something else here. And I'm living it. That's why I live here. So I'm saying that to you to say, even though she didn't get the job she thought she should get, think about this, but she got something better, something closer to home, 5 minutes from her. She could almost walk to the job, 5 minutes from her house, and she loves the job. Ladies, gentlemen, it does. I'm telling you, this is what I've learned. Sometimes I'd say get in God's way and just let God be God. Elaine says, I have had and still have trials and tribulations. Come on now. I'm with you. I know that God never gives me more than I can bear. Because of him answering my prayers, I know to trust him in everything. Elaine, if that's not the truth there, girl, because I think this is what I'm just going to give you guys. This is, as they say, this is the real deal. Don't sometimes you think you know more than God? I do. Think about that. I think, oh no, Lord, you got that wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this. Like, what do I know? I'm telling you, Elaine, you told the truth. This is what I think too. I think sometimes we give God, we say a prayer, and then we take it back. It's like, okay, that's okay. I got it now. I can handle it now. You don't have to worry about that. I got that. Yeah, we do. I know you guys do. You may not think you do, but you do. I know you do. I know. Because I know I do. And I go, oh no, I got this now, God. It's okay. It's okay. Crazy stuff. I'm saying that because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I believe. I think God has a sense of humor. That's what I think. I think God has a sense of humor and just laughs at us because we think we know something what we don't know. Well, number one, he created us, so he knows we think we know. But we don't know. We don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. Let's just be honest. We don't know. We could wake up on the other side tomorrow. Once we lay our head down on that pillow, we don't know. We have this sense, oh, yeah, I do know. It's like, if you really think about it, it's almost comical. It's almost comical. Because what could you know? What can you possibly know? If you really, really think about things, we don't know. But at the same time, we act like we do. We act like we know something we don't know. We predict and project things we think that we don't know. But I agree with you, Elaine. You've learned to trust God. That's the truth. That is I probably do a show on that. Why we trust God. Because we don't know the future. That's one thing he did not give us. Now, we can look at that past all day long, but he does not let us look into that future. I don't think we really want to see it, if you be honest. Let's be honest. Would you really want to know when you're leaving here? I don't want to know that. Because then I would live life so differently. I would live it. It'd just be a different life. If I knew. I think not knowing, I think is a gift. That's what I think it is. I think because I don't know when the last day, thank God, is going to be, I can live life. It's like a freedom of living. I freely live it as opposed to, oh my God, the day is coming. I would live like that. I would be anxious about it. I would live with that, So, and that's what I think. I think it's just anxiousness that would come from that. I look at, when you watch the news, don't watch too much of the news, by the way, because I'm going to tell you, it's depressing. I try to limit to a half hour national news and a half hour local news. That's my limit. It's like, I can't take too much more than that. But I say that because I do want to know what's going on nationally, and I do want to know what's going on locally. 30 minutes of it is about it, because it's too much negativity going on and too much stuff that is just it's too much. So I limit it. I have a limit to how much I can take. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to know what's going on in the world, because I do. And that's why when Cheryl, when she said that about her niece, I knew exactly what was going on. From doing, when was I doing? A half hour national news. That's how I knew instantly. But that's on local news too. But that's still, I'm just saying, that's why I was aware. So I'm definitely going to hold her up in prayer, Cheryl, for sure, for that. But I'm waiting for the feedback, audience, on how do you know prayer works? How do you know? What is your evidence? What is that? That's what the minister, and he used to say, evidence. That's how he started the show. I can't think of the man's name. I know who I'm talking about. I just can't think of his name. But anyway, and he was out of LA. It'll come to me. But where's your proof that it works? Okay. Victoria says, I always say watching the news is not your brain and will skew your perception. Oh yeah, without a doubt. But let me be honest with you, Victoria. Have you noticed you get the same news almost? I don't care which channel you turn to. Has anybody noticed that? I have. I've noticed that. I have. So Elaine says, so important to remember God says yes, no, and not now. There you go. Come on, Elaine. But later and better. Prayed for my house, another job, my family and friends, and my own health and others' health. We have to expect an answer to. That's right. We do. We do. But those prayers, I believe in my heart and soul, he's looking at our hearts. At our hearts. But I did the same thing, Elaine. I prayed for a home. Nothing but the grace of God. God was I say merciful, but yes, he answered that prayer. And our chaplain says, that's who it is. Thank you. Thank you, chaplain. Frederick Casey Price goes, evidence. I used to watch it. That's how I know. That's how he starts off. But thank you. And Victoria says, yes, Elaine, yes. Elaine, I'm telling you. And you really can't, for me, I'm speaking, you can never stop praying. For me. Though, I mean, it wasn't like I prayed for that was it. It goes on. It never ends. I'm always praying. I agree with you, Elaine. I'm praying for our family. I'm praying for friends. I'm praying for health. In the last year, unfortunately, I've been getting calls, I'm not kidding, weekly, of people passing away. Weekly. And I've been praying, not always, I'm not that I don't pray for the person that passed. I'm praying for the family. Because people don't realize, or maybe some people do, you can die from a broken heart. So when you are hurting, and that's actually one of the shows coming up, and it says how you have to be careful when people pass. The pain of that loss can take you out. You can die from that. I remember the doctor told me that years ago when I lost my husband, and he said to me, I was 35, and he said, I know you think that you can't die because you're 35. He goes, not only can you die, if you let this grief overcome you, you will die. Woo! He said people die of broken hearts every day. Think about that. But years ago, when I saw in the last few years, I saw they thought I was having a heart attack. Thank God I wasn't. But the cardiologist came in and he had the portable machine, and I watched my heartbeat. And he said, you're looking at this like you've seen this for the first time. I said, I have seen, I've never seen I'm thinking, man, how would I see my heartbeat? And he said, and I kept staring. I said, it looks so delicate. He said, it is. And I mentioned right then, I said, so those guys playing football, he said, any one hit can kill them. Sure did. He said, you have a 200, 300-pound man running at you full speed. Anyone. And then what happened, this year, as we know, that young man, he coded. That man coded. I think he coded twice. I think they said on the field and then in the ambulance. that means his heart stopped beating twice. They had to start it up again. It wasn't for the fibrillation where they shock your heart back to beating again. That he would have died. He's back. He's still playing football. Of course, that's his way of his income. I totally get that. But his nonprofit, I think, raised in the millions after that. He has set a level of 17,000. I think it raised 17 million. So I'm saying that to say that man went on that football field like everybody else that day. And what happened? He really died. Truthfully, he died on that field, but they brought him back. That he did. He died on the field. For those of you coming in, I see people coming in a little later on. I want to make sure I make these comments because I don't want to forget. For those of you, be so kind to go to the YouTube and subscribe. If you would tell your friends and family to do that, right now, like last I looked, it was 240, I think, that had subscribed. The goal is 10,000 subscribers. If you would do that, I really would appreciate that. And those of you that would go to Instagram and follow me on Instagram, that's appreciated also. On Instagram, I'm Mary_D_Welch. Just want to make sure I throw the commercial in there. But I want to also say to you, remember, ladies and gentlemen, why we're here today. I wanted to talk with you. I love it when I can just talk one-on-one. I really do. It just, I don't know what it is, but I just do. I do have a guest next week, though. And I do want you to make sure you tune in again next week. And she's an actress, and her name is Ruby Hayes. For those of you who saw the movie, hi, Danielle. I'll put your comment up. The movie Trophy Wife. She's a mother from Trophy Wife. She's going to be on the show. So I'm really excited about having her. So Danielle says, I pray when I'm sad and I pray when I'm happy. I pray when I'm stressed and I pray when I'm at peace. I just keep praying and God never disappoints. Wow, Danielle, that's beautiful. For those of you who don't know, Danielle, we live 5 houses away from each other. We're on the same, we didn't know this. We're on the same street. Can you believe that? Right? 5 houses away. But hi, Danielle. It's always good to see you. And so I love it, Danielle. And we have to get together because we're too close not to get together. We do. Sheila. Hi, Sheila. Oh, Sheila. Thank you. You know, I miss you when you're not here. Just know that. Because I think I sent you a message on Facebook. I said, where have you been? So, I tell you, when you're not here, I notice. Don't think I don't notice. I do notice. So it makes a difference. So Sheila. So ladies, gentlemen, which Danielle mentioned about the prayers. She's right. I think we are. You know what it is. So I don't always want to pray when things are going bad. I'm going to speak for me. I don't always want to come to God when things are going bad. So I try to make sure every single day I pray. Every single day, I'll be honest. I read the word, but I need to get more consistent with the word. I've read the Bible. It took me like a year to read the Bible, but I got to go back and read the Bible again. As many of you know, you read the Bible, it doesn't matter. You can go back to the same scripture and get a different message from the same scripture. At least it's happened to me. So I would encourage those of you. I'm not trying to tell anybody to go to church, not go to church, whatever. I'm like, you do you. That's what I do. I've learned. But I'm just going to speak for the things I do. These are things I do. I try to read. Near me, you guys can't see them, but I have all kinds of stuff around here. If I could turn the camera around, you guys want to see? I don't even know if you guys want to see all that stuff, but I'll do this. I never do this, ladies and gentlemen. You guys get to see my bookcase. It's not neat though, but it's right there. Let me see if I can turn the camera. You guys can see it. Can you see it? There. All those books. And then if you look, you see all those sayings. I don't know if you guys can see them. All those quotes, all the way to the top. That's what I see every single day. Think about it. Every single day. And at the minute I come in my office, the first thing I do, I read the quotes. The one, I can show you that one in the corner. I'm enough. There it is. I love looking at that one. That book. I look at that. I'm enough. Now I'm gonna read them to you guys so you guys can see. This is my daily routine. And I never showed you guys all that. That's the first time you guys seen what my office look like. The very first one I read is I am enough. I'm enough. I'm about to cry just saying that. Because I'm a Black woman in a predominantly not a Black woman society. I want to say to society, but I have to remind myself I'm enough. I'm enough right where I am. If I never do anything, say anything, right there, I'm enough. The other one is live without limits. Don't limit yourself, whatever it is. And these are things I'm reading daily. It says work that crown. That's another one. Let your faith be bigger than your fear. I'm talking to you guys and getting teary eyed because this is what I read every single day. Make your dreams happen. Make your dreams happen. Never stop dreaming. And I still buy them even now. Um, it is well with my soul. And then the other one you saw up there, that was the cover for There's a Rocket in My Pocket. That's what that's up there. Everything is figure outable. It's up there. Never give up. It's another one. And then I don't know if you saw that. Oliver's 80th birthday. That's up there. Live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly, and leave the rest to God. I'm going to say that one over again. And I'm sitting up here. Live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly, and leave the rest to God. That's one of my favorite ones. The other one is, it says, live simply, dream big, be grateful, give love, laugh lots. And the other one in the corner says, it always seems impossible until it's done. It always seems impossible until it's done. And the one or two I have left is live well, laugh often, love much. Live well, laugh often, love much. And the other one is, if you can be anything, be kind. If you can be anything, think about what that is. Be kind. I don't think we could ever, and I thank God for this. This is every day I do this. I go through these every day and read them because it's so easy not to be. It's so easy not to be kind. It's very easy to be ugly. I see it all the time. People mistreat people or say something that doesn't need to be said. I was in the store. Those of you know that follow me on social media, I was in Maryland last week, and a lady was yelling at the manager, screaming at him, all kinds of stuff. And I stood there in line, and I thought, and nothing changed. That man did not move any faster because she raised her voice or anything like that. And all I kept thinking, I wonder what he would have done if she had been kind and showed respect to him and kindness. The man was already stressed. Everybody could see that. But she didn't do that. She was adding to his aggravation. Just be kind. Show kindness. And kindness is really love. Let's be honest. It says, Elaine says, there's been times, I'm sorry. Okay, let me read it. There's been times I pray for God to remove a trial. Tell me, Elaine. You speaking my language, girl. Well, he didn't in the way I asked him to do. But God answered me through and what he knew I needed. Praying teaches me so much. Girl, you got to witness. Because sometimes we think, oh, God, you're not hearing me. Or you're not doing it the way I want you to do it. But he did hear it. And he is answering it. And Victoria says, I am enough. I got that book and I love that book. Tell me about it, girl. I'm telling you, every single day, I have to remind myself. Everything you heard me read, you guys see. Now you get to see what I see daily. Daily. Every single, I don't talk about it, but you're the first ones to ever see my office, I think. I haven't even showed you the whole office, but I showed you some of it. You see what the books and all that's right next to me every day. But I read something about being a kind person, a nice person, a decent person. because it's not something you do. It's not something, it's something, I think it's something you have to be reminded of. I do. I have to be reminded. It's not something I just, oh, yeah, I'm going to be a good person. No, I am being reminded that this is something you need to do. This is not something that you take for granted. Don't take it for granted. This is a life. And this is what I have said. You guys tell me how you feel about it. But where were we before we came here? Think about that. Before we got to this planet that's sitting in the middle with nothing holding it up but energy. Think about that. There's no string holding this earth up, and not one drop of water falls off of it. Not one drop. Where were we before we came here? Ladies, gentlemen, I have thought about that. That must be that creative spirit in me. I don't know. But I've thought about it. And Victoria says, you are definitely oh, Victoria, that's so sweet of you. But you know why, Victoria? I read those every day. That's why. I am constantly feeding my mind, my heart, my soul. Constantly. It's a constant. It doesn't end. And honestly, sometimes you don't want to be kind. Don't get me wrong now. There are times when you don't want to be kind. You want to, show up, show out, whatever. And now I don't think about it anymore. I don't even think about it. But I still am always constantly reminded of it. And what I ended up doing was giving you, like I say, probably, I don't know if you can see the title. Those of you that went on Saturday, if anybody here was at the 1619, it was a lady from the 1619 Project that spoke. And I hadn't read the book. I've already started the book. I've already started the 1619 Project because I have got to read this book. I just know, I have a feeling it's going to change my life. And I'm going to give you a really quick commercial on that. If you haven't already read it, we're down to 2 minutes. But I want to make sure I share this with you, is that it talks about the ship that landed in 1619 was the beginning of the United States, not what we think about, excuse me, Plymouth Rock. That's not how history really is. That the history we know is not the real history, is what she's saying. And she investigated, and she knows what the actual history is. It's there. It just wasn't written in the books the way it should have been. And so she's correcting. And I really applaud her for that. I wish I could have met her, but this lady has to have security when she goes places. She's at that level. She can't not just show up and go to, she knows that she's had death threats for what she's done. So, but I would like to, I know we're down to 1 minute. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for being here today. I will be back next Monday, God willing, and be here again with, as I told you, her name is Ruby Hayes. Thank you so much for sharing this show with your family, your friends, sharing the link for YouTube and asking them to just subscribe. They don't have to even come to the show, but the system is looking to see how many people are interested in the Mary D Talk Show. Thank you again. I love you all. Oh, thank you, Gwen. Gwen said inspiring show. And Elaine said, oh, thank you, Elaine. So thank you so much for this topic and discussion today. Oh, I'm so glad it's uplifted you. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you again next Monday. Bye, everybody.